Brought to you by Lean Body, the #1 protein shake in gyms across America.
Hey guys, Labrada here. Today we're going to be looking at the question of how long and how often should I train? This is one of the most commonly asked questions that I've gotten over my career, and it's also one of the most important, so hey, let's dig in. First, why do we train, really? Well, quite simply, we use resistance training with free weight or exercise machines to create a stimulus which signals our body to answer with an adaptive response. In our case, the desired adaptive response is muscle growth. So the equation looks like this. Resistance on the muscle gives a stimulus, and your body responds with muscle growth. It's important to remember that our muscles don't actually grow in the gym. Muscle growth is the adaptive response that happens over the next few days after training as we eat and rest. Muscle growth is best stimulated by short duration, high intensity training. We can either train long or we can train hard intensely, but we cannot do both. During our workouts, we want to strike a balance. You need to train with enough intensity to create a stimulus that causes your muscles to grow, but you can't overstimulate muscles because this results in overtraining, which means slow growth or no growth. So that looks like this. Optimal intensity leads to muscle growth. Overtraining, no growth or slow growth. Once we've worked out and stressed the muscles with optimal intensity, it's time to recover. Let's take a moment and look at what we call recuperation or recovery. We need to recover from the stress of training in terms of our metabolism, which is energy replenishment, our muscle cells, and our connective tissues or tendons. We have to balance the stress of both training and life with our capacity for the body to replenish, recharge, and grow. Have you ever seen those people who are in the gym 6 or 7 days per week for hours at a time? Well, they're training too much and going beyond their body's ability to recover fully between workouts. But in some cases, even training 3 days a week can be too much for some people if they're under major stress outside the gym. You know, those things that happen to us in life that create stress. In this sense, they're not overtrained per se, but rather under-recuperated. Okay, so we're gonna talk about some rules of thumb for training frequency, but first, let me share a few words about sleep and proper nutrition. The first major factor to recuperation is, if you guessed sleep, you're right. Getting enough sleep is quite possibly the most anabolic or growth-supporting thing that you can do. If you're really serious about maximizing results, 8 to 10 hours of sleep per day, which can also include a nap can be part of that, is best. Sleeping 6 to 8 hours per day can be okay sometimes, but may not be the optimal amount depending on the outside demands and stresses of your life. So remember, quality, uninterrupted sleep is the key. That means a dark room, no electronics nearby, limiting fluids during the last 3 hours before bed, and dead quiet. The other 800-pound gorilla on the road to recovery is proper nutrition. This is a broad topic which includes food choice, proteins and carbohydrate and fat ratios, meal timing, and even supplements. And you'll find helpful nutrition videos on that matter on this channel. But the quick version is that you need about 1 gram of quality protein per pound of lean body mass if you're training hard, along with enough carbs and healthy fats for fuel. Eating small, frequent meals throughout the day to meet our nutritional demands is recommended. I personally eat 5 times per day. Now, that means breakfast, lunch, and dinner, plus a high-protein snack at mid-morning and mid-afternoon. Okay, so here's some rules of thumb for optimizing training frequency and duration. Initially, you should experiment with training 3 to 4 times per week before you consider jumping to a 5-day per week program. When I was building my body, the majority of the time I trained 4 days per week, but keep in mind those workouts were intense. My typical training days were Monday, Tuesday, rest on Wednesday, then Thursday and Friday, and then take the weekends off. I got great results with this program. Now let's look at how long we should train. Starting out keeping training sessions in the 45-minute range, give or take, that is very, very helpful. Again, short workouts, high intensity is the ticket. That means fewer sets with shorter rest periods, but those sets are all out Be sure to warm up sufficiently before starting, and rest between sets should be no more than about a minute or however it longs for you to catch your breath before you start your next set. Okay, so now you know how many days per week to train, you know how long to train. Let's look at which muscles to train on which days. Ready? Muscles generally need about 72 hours between workouts to recover fully. So you should group complementary body parts together. You can vary these groupings in various ways, but I did really well with what is called a push-pull split. In a push-pull split, you'll train the push muscles, which are the chest, the shoulders, and the triceps in one workout, and then the back, the biceps, and the legs on another day. You can also experiment with other splits and just keep watching the results and see how you feel and then train accordingly. One last key point. If you notice that you're feeling tired, achy, or you notice a lack of strength, or you just have a generalized increase of irritability or anxiety, or if your sleep quality is suffering, take a day off. Those are all signals of overtraining. If you take a day off, when you're ready to get back, you just pick up where you left off. Okay, so I hope that this was helpful to you. And remember, train hard, but always train smart. If this episode was useful to you, be sure to subscribe, be sure to hit like, and share with at least one other person. Best of luck and stay strong. I'm Labrada for Labrada Nutrition, the most trusted name in sports nutrition.